Hi, this is Melanie Dawn, and this is Dawn of Wisdom. Today I want to talk about taking things personally. I understand this. I've lived most of my life like this, and I'm going to talk to you about ways that I have overcome it, or I am overcoming it. And it has changed my life. So here we go. I love the book. This is my Bible, called The Four Agreements by Don Miquel Ruiz. The chapter that I read the most, I go back to constantly, is the second one. That is, don't take anything personally. It's the one I have mostly highlighted. It's the one I'm always going back to. Just did it this morning because something had bothered me last night. And this is my Bible. Some people have a Bible by their bed. I have the Four Agreements. I've taken things personally most of my life. It's taken me a long time to understand this. I still struggle, but I have a commitment. Let's talk about the how and why we take things personally, and how to stop not taking things so personally. That's kind of what I want to go into today. First of all, I am going to read a few of the highlighted parts of this chapter that I often go back to. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. You take it personally because you agree with whatever is said. Ooh, do I identify with this? To me, everything was like a personal attack. Nothing other people do is because of you. Even a situation that seems so personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for those predators. You eat all their emotional garbage, and now it becomes your garbage. One of the things I always say to my grandson is, don't let somebody else's anger become yours. Why do we accept everything someone says or does as truth? Well, it's insecurity. We perceive events as happening to us. The best place to start is to look at those thoughts. This is more from the book. We can have 10 people in a room, and all 10 will tell 10 different stories from their own experience. We have emotional habits. If you're angry all the time, you will find a reason to feel angry, no matter what. If you're frustrated all the time, you're going to find reasons to be frustrated, and it goes on and on. This comes from habits, and it comes from programs. You've been programmed. Survival, a lot of it is survival. Your experiences, your trauma, your habits that you learned either by someone or you learned to cope with life growing up. You began to see life as personal, scary, fearful. I spent most of my life feeling like everything had something to do with me, and it's due to my own personal experience and it being so profound. Okay, let's break this down. Does feeling everything mean you have to talk everything? You have to take everything personal? You can be sensitive and not take everything so personal. It takes a knowing, and let's talk about that knowing. Your point of view is something personal to you. It is no one's trash but yours. This is everything. This is a sentence in the book that made me go, wow. When we become aware that it's our story and nobody knows our story, it becomes clear that everyone has their own story. Boom. That's it. That's it, guys. We all come from our own story. When you get mad at me, I know you are dealing with you. If you are happy, you also are dealing with you. It's all about you. It's all about me. It's not personal. We have our own personal story. Okay, when we take things personal, we set ourselves up to suffer for nothing. We take on someone else's story. We have to learn to trust ourselves and choose to believe or not believe what someone says. When we learn to see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or do. I'm starting to see people like that. I'm starting to see someone that's angry. I see them differently. I see them as sad and they're in their own anger, and it has nothing to do with me. Let's talk a little bit how I stopped taking things so personal. And believe me, this is ongoing struggle with me. But I have a commitment. First of all, I started to isolate. This was the safest way for me to stay safe from people, from others' energies. This was the best way at the time for me to go inward and explore why. Has been the best and most fabulous and healthiest thing I've ever done. It also kept me safe, and being alone was just a really safe place for me to be. Now, that's not always true because we get in our heads and we go crazy in our heads. But once we make a commitment and we start to explore that crazy way of thinking, we can get a grip on this habit that we have. Over time, I started to enjoy my alone time. It opened me up to see those beautiful parts of me that needed healing. And that's what it is. It's a healing. I was able to slow my mind down and start to listen to those parts of me that were so sensitive. Instead of staying busy, I learned to be quiet. Walking away and being alone may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Your mind tends to slow down if you're committed to it. You will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself. Your sadness will start to go away. It will. When you make this a habit, you will stop taking things personally. You got to change those habits. There's lots of videos out there on how to change habits. You start to change your habits, your beliefs regarding taking things personally. It's a trap to take things personally. It leads to needless suffering, and that's that habit that you really want to change. Because when you make it a habit, you stop taking it so personally. You stop trusting what others say to you or do as truth. You start to see what others say or do as theirs, not yours. Spend alone time. Learn to trust yourself. That part of you that is aware. If we are quiet, we can start to trust ourselves. Learn to be quiet. Overthinking is the worst. Oh, I've done it all my life. It has consumed me, overthinking. It has been a scary place for me most of my life, and learning to be alone with my own thoughts was overwhelming, but it has been the best thing. The habit of overthinking. Let's talk a little bit about this. When we overthink about what someone says, it just becomes real. So what I do to stop my overthinking is I'm aware that I'm doing it. It's a habit. I recognize it. I focus on my breath and I try to slow down. And I do that over and over again, sitting by myself, often at the beach on a bench. And then just sit with that thought. Sit with the one thought. Why am I being so sensitive? Why am I upset about this? Challenge those thoughts for them to release. We must heal them. We can't let go of what we cannot heal. Change your direction. Change your energy. energy. Go on a walk, long walk, meditate, dance, write. Move that energy around. Energy needs to move. We sit in our minds create stories. And they become huge. We make them personal, and we become much more than needed. So that's a big step in stopping the not taking things personally. Be committed. Be committed to yourself. Commit first to feel good. Nobody likes to suffer. If we feel like everything is about us, we suffer. There's a lot of this from the book also. Nothing is about us. Commit to this. Your story is only your story. Everyone has a story. Every story has nothing to do with you. Commit to changing this habit. Tell yourself over and over again, this has nothing to do with me. Repeat and change the habit of believing it does. Walk away when you start to take something personal. Yeah, I often do that. This is what I do. I leave the situation and I say out loud, this has nothing to fucking do with me. It starts with this hurt feeling. It builds, and then I am consumed with thoughts of what it meant to me. You can stop that. You can get a grip on that. You can walk away, and you can get a hold of your own thoughts. And this is while you're practicing this. This has changed my life. I still like to be alone. I still like to be in my little safety bubble. But I could also be around others, and whatever is said, I do not take as personal as I used to. I feel free from a habit that made my life very hard. I listen more to others. I have less judgment. I love others more, and I don't hold grudges. People have their own stories, and their stories have nothing to do with you. Make that your habit. Commit to change. Be alone to explore. Find what works for you. Repeat it and start to believe it. I'm going to read the last chapter of the second agreement from the book, The Four Agreements by Don Miquel Ruiz. Here we go. If you keep this agreement, you can travel around the world with your heart completely open, and no one can hurt you. You can say, I love you, without fear of being ridiculed or rejected. You can ask for what you need. You can say yes, or you can say no. Whatever you choose, without guilt or self-judgment, you can choose to follow your heart always. Then you can go be in the middle of hell and still experience inner peace and happiness. You can stay in your state of bliss, and hell will not affect you at all. I love it. Love this book. Go buy it. Okay, my wisdom for today. Don't take anything personally. We all do. It's a habit. Commit to change. It's okay to walk away and say, this has nothing to do with me. All right, Nurse Mellow on Instagram and Facebook. I hope everybody has a good day.